Let's talk now about processing our dry herbs. We are in the wonderful situation that we dried successfully our harvest, our herbs. Now they are just dry. And the question is, how can we process them into a form, into a size, which is useful for the application, for the further processing into natural remedies? Let's say our stinging nettle. We have the branches which were attached at the roof, and they are dry, they are leaves and small branches. I just take them off with my hand, and then I grind them with my hands. Clean hand, I just grind them and powderize them. And it's not really a powder, let's say like sugar or so. It's a little bit more bigger pieces, small pieces of leaves and the small branches. For making tea, it's good enough, perfect. It's good enough. If I powderize with my hand, if I grind and make smaller Artemisia afra leaves and the small branches with my hand, it's perfect for making tea. It's perfect for the steam intonation. I just take with 3 fingers what I can take. This is normal, the portion for a cup of tea. So for preparing tea, it's good enough to powderize with the hands. If we want to make smaller roots, we won't be able to do it by the hands. So we have the traditional method with the stone. I clean my stone, I clean my working stone, and I start to work on the root and start to powderize it. Of course, using the stone like this, there is always a little bit of mineral of that stone into the product, but it won't be harmful. Important is it was well cleaned before. We have the more elaborated tool where I have just a jar and I have with porcelain, the stick, where I can work on that root to make it more smaller and to powderize it. Or we have the machine. I put it in it, it's somehow a shredder, and then with the machine, with a very high altitude rotation, zzz, it powderizes it.
So now you can see we have filled the container with these herbs here. We are putting in the electricity. Never touch the machine if you haven't detached from the electricity. And now we're going to grind it, and it's making quite a bit of noise. So now the filter, the grinded, we're putting it into a sieve, and that is going to be shaken in that sieve. We put a 26 mesh. You can see all the big stuff is remaining on top. And we put these big things that are still left over, we put it back in here in the grinder. See?
And then filtering that powder, I get the size of the granulate, the size of the little pieces to homogenize them, to have them more homogenic. And so I get the powder. So we have different instruments which can help us to powderize if we need the powder. Is it necessary to powderize all our herbs? No, it is not necessary. It's not even helpful. Let's say if I have mint, the wild mint, quena, and I powderize it, the powder will be much in contact with oxygen, with the air, and it will lose quality much more quicker. It's like with coffee. If you have the bean of coffee and you stock them and you powderize it before you make your coffee, the smell, the taste is much stronger. So the same in general with the herbs. So all herbs which are perfume like mint, we powderize them if we need to powderize in the last moment. If they are just made small by hand, it's good enough. So we can make them small by hand, we can make them with the instrument by hand, or we shred them with a machine. Whatever we need, we can process in this way.